Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Happy Juneteenth. Olivia just woke up, so she's going to be my co-host today. We're a little bit all over the place as the kids have been home all day for the holiday, but we're going to roll and do the best we can, right? I'm really, really excited to talk to you guys about some new stuff. As most of you know, I'm a huge advocate for removing barriers to buying property. If you want to be a homeowner, I think that you should be able to. If you want to invest in real estate, I think that you should be able to. I do still think there's a place for renting. A lot of people rent because they want to and for a number of different reasons. I do think that needs to exist, and there needs to be people who own the rentals to provide the ability to rent. But I also think anyone who wants to own a home should be able to achieve that and not be stuck renting as opposed to that being a choice, right? So, couple things that are really cool. We are talking about 0% down loans. So, at least for the time I've been licensed, there have always been 0% down loans. Now, to be clear, this does not mean no money. Sometimes we can work it that way. I have had people close a house without spending any money at all. That is very rare, but does happen. But even if you still have your closing costs, and your inspection, appraisal, all the things that come with the process and expenses, you won't have your down payment, which is a huge chunk, right? So usually it's a minimum of 3%, often 3.5, 5, some people all the way up to 20, depending on what loan type you're doing. But 0% can be super helpful because you don't need that large chunk of cash up front, right? So while there have always been programs, they've been limited on who can use them, on what areas you can use them. And it's really cool to have something that is not quite so restrictive. So awesome points on some of the new 0% down. Does not matter where it is. Anywhere does not matter. Also does not have to be a first-time home buyer. So for first-time home buyers, 0% down is really, really helpful because the biggest barrier is you're paying all this rent and it's hard to save up the money, right? So 0% down gets you into a home faster. But it's also really helpful when you already own a home for a number of reasons. Because while most people sell their home and use that money as a down payment, maybe the house you're buying needs a little bit of work. Not a ton, but some stuff that you want to do to it, and you'd rather use that money for that. Well, now that's an option. Maybe you want to keep your first home for a rental property and start building your rental portfolio, start investing in real estate, eventually get to the point where that's passive income for you. But that would require you to save up a whole new down payment. And that is hard when you have a mortgage and the maintenance expenses that come with it and all of those things. Well, now you can go ahead and buy your next house with 0% down. The other thing that's really cool about that is there are a ton of people with really good interest rates right now. And they would normally be moving because it's that time in life where they're ready for another home. But their mortgage rate is so good and there's no way we're going to match that now, right? So what you can do there is you rent out your current home, and then the difference that you'll have between how much you're paying on that mortgage and how much you're getting in rent can go into your next home to like offset what that mortgage payment is, right? So you're getting money from your first house every month. And then that's part of the money you're putting in your mortgage on the other house. Mind you, keep a little bit back in case anything happens. Make sure you have a home warranty on your rentals. There's extra insurance. There's a whole lot of things you got to think about there. But you can use that money to offset your next house, and now you're not stuck in your home. And then with that, if you're doing 0% down, say you've had this goal anyway and you've saved up some money. Cool. We can buy down your interest rate. We can buy it down. So instead of putting that money in a down payment, you can buy down the rate. And we can get you with a lender to make sure which one makes the most sense. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to save more money buying down your rate than putting an extra $10,000 on a house. So that's an option. Another thing we don't talk about a lot that is not related to these specific programs, but is also really cool, is 0% down investment, like hard money loans. Say you're like, oh, I found this perfect house. I'm handy, I'm a contractor, whatever. I don't have the cash, but I can do a flip. I just don't have the cash. Well, there are hard money lenders now that, depending on the project and the person asking, they can 100% finance that. 100%. You can also, if you do want to save up a down payment, you can also buy investment property with a loan that doesn't look at you as the borrower at all. It looks at the cash flow of the property. So if it has current tenants in place, you get those rent rolls. You're seeing how much that property is bringing in revenue. Then you just need to have the down payment. So just a short video. I want you guys to know all this stuff is out there. So if you really want to move, if you really want to own a home, if you really want to start getting into investing, there are so many options and so many programs and just so many things out there to help. And I am so happy to be the resource to connect you and help you along the way. So if you guys need anything else, you know where to find me. And as always, I will see you next week. Have a fabulous Wednesday night and happy